Hello, today we'll talk about one of the darkest pages of World War II, the Nazi concentration camps. Many of us know the stories of the victims, their suffering, and their resistance. However, today we will dive into the other side, those who oversaw these camps. Specifically, we'll examine the life of Irma Grese, who was also known as a hyena of Auschwitz. Her beauty is often mentioned, but her cruelty and sadistic tendencies overshadowed everything. The information provided in this video is based on eyewitness testimonies and court documents. If you would like more similar content about the history of the Holocaust, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave the keyword "I want" in the comment section. Now, meet the hyena of Auschwitz, Irma Grese. The guards of concentration camps were not a homogeneous group. While most belonged to the SS organization, especially its branch known as the SS Death's Head Units, their ranks included a wide variety of individuals. Some were young, barely out of their teens, while others were older and already had families. Some of them believed in Nazi ideology, seeing themselves as defenders of racial purity and German power. However, most joined the SS for purely pragmatic reasons: the desire to avoid the front, to get better pay, for career opportunities, or simply out of obedience to the regime. Many of them were ordinary people, peasants, workers, and clerks. Fear, pressure, and the desire not to stand out from the crowd were powerful motivators. Irma Grese, born on October 7, 1923, in Rechin, Germany, was the third of 5 children. One of Grese's sisters, Helena, testified that Grese, as a young girl, lacked the courage to stand up for herself. It was said that she was severely bullied in school, which led to her dropout early. "I finished elementary school in 1938 and worked on a farm for 6 months, and then I worked in a store in Luchin for another 6 months. Irma Grese testified during her war crimes trial. Later, when Grese was 12 or 13, her mother committed suicide after discovering that her husband was having an affair with the innkeeper's daughter. A couple years later, Grese began working in a hospital. According to her, she wanted to become a nurse, but due to a lack of education, she was rejected and forced to return to farm work. Like many Germans in the 1930s and 1940s, Grese was captivated by Adolf Hitler's ideology. At the age of 18, the school dropout found a job at the Ravensbrück concentration camp for female prisoners. In July 1942, I tried to become a nurse again, but the Labour office sent me to the Ravensbrück concentration camp, even though I resisted, Grese stated in her trial. Despite her alleged reluctance to work at the concentration camp, she apparently thrived in this environment and eventually became one of the most vicious guards of the entire Holocaust. In March 1943, Irma Grese was transferred to Auschwitz, the largest and most infamous Nazi death camp. Being a loyal, dedicated, and obedient Nazi, Irma quickly rose to the rank of senior SS supervisor and was the second highest ranking female guard in the camp. She remained there until 1945 when she was transferred to the Bergen-Belsen camp. At Auschwitz, Grese supervised 18,000 female prisoners at one time. With so much power, Irma Grese was able to unleash a great deal of sadism on the prisoners, which reportedly included physical, emotional, and even sexual abuse. However, it's difficult to verify the specific details of Irma's violence. Grese's sister said that she spoke very little about her role in the camps. As Helena testified during her sister's trial, Irma told us she supervised prisoners working in the area and had to make sure they did their job well and didn't escape. We asked her, what are the prisoners fed and why were they sent to a concentration camp? And she replied that she was not allowed to speak with the prisoners and did not know what kind of food they received. However, scholars point out that some of what has been written about female Nazis is overshadowed by sexism and stereotypes. Nonetheless, the testimonies of concentration camp survivors lead many to believe that Grese deserved her infamous nickname, the hyena of Auschwitz. In her memoir, 5 Chimneys, Auschwitz prisoner Olga Lengwa writes that Grese had many affairs with other Nazis, including the infamous Dr. Joseph Mengele. Lengwa noted that when Grese was selecting women for the gas chamber, she would purposely choose beautiful prisoners out of jealousy and malice. According to research, Grese had a strange fondness for beating female prisoners on their breasts, and forcing young Jewish girls to watch her rape other female prisoners. Grese would set her dogs on the prisoners and constantly whip and kick them with heavy boots until they bled. I saw Grese beat prisoners, and about 2 weeks before the liberation of the prisoners, I saw her beat a girl in the camp. She had a pistol but used a whip. The blows were very strong, testified Daniel Szafran, a Polish concentration camp prisoner. Szafran also claimed to have seen Irma Grese shoot 2 girls who tried to escape during a selection for the gas chamber. At Camp A, in Barrack 9, a prison doctor was doing a selection for the gas chamber. 2 selected girls jumped out the window. Grese approached them as they lay on the ground and shot them twice. Ilona Stein, a Hungarian concentration camp prisoner, testified, "I was working in the kitchen at the Birkenau camp when I saw a woman whose daughter was in the adjacent camp going to the fence to talk to her daughter. Grese, who was riding a bicycle, immediately got off, took off her leather belt and began to beat the woman. She also punched her in the face and head, and when the woman fell to the ground, she kicked her. The woman's face became swollen and blue." As the Allies weakened the Nazi grip on Europe during World War II, Grese shifted from destroying people's lives to trying to save her own. Irma Grese was arrested when British forces liberated the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp in April 1945. She was soon charged with war crimes. During her trial, Grese pleaded not guilty, but the testimonies of witnesses and survivors led to her conviction and death sentence. She was one of 3 female guards at the Bergen-Belsen camp to be sentenced to death. Despite her appeals, Grese's sentence was upheld. It is said that before her execution on December 13, 1945, Grese sang Nazi songs. The executioner, Albert Pierrepoint, described her hanging. "I went to the corridor. 'Irma Grese,' I called. The German guards quickly closed all the lattice windows in the 12th inspection hatches and opened one door. Irma Grese came out. The cell was too small for me to enter, so I had to tie her up in the corridor. 'Follow me,' I said." At 9:34 AM, she entered the execution chamber, looked for a moment at the officers standing around, then walked towards the trapdoor where I had drawn a chalk mark. She stood firmly on that mark, and as I placed the white cap over her head, she said in a language voice, "Schnell," quickly. The trapdoor opened. The doctor then followed me into the pit and pronounced her dead. At just 22 years old, Irma Grese became the youngest woman to be hanged under British law in the 20th century. Today, Grese is buried in Hamelin, Germany, and she will always be remembered as one of the most brutal guards in the history of the Holocaust. This is the story of Irma Grese, the hyena of Auschwitz. If you'd like to hear more stories about the history of the Holocaust, don't forget to leave a keyword in the comments section. For now, thank you for watching, and see you in the next interesting documentary video.